Walk through an ordinary neighborhood on a Saturday morning, and you will pass at least one millionaire without knowing it. He is mowing his own lawn. Her sedan is 9 years old and carries a dent in the back bumper. Nothing about the house, the clothes, or the grocery cart gives anything away. That silence is not modesty, and it is not luck. Quietly rich people simply refuse to buy 12 specific things, and that refusal is the entire trick. Picture two men at the same backyard barbecue. One pulls up in a new truck that still smells like the dealership, then spends the evening explaining the payment plan like a trophy. The other arrives in a hatchback with a cracked cup holder, says almost nothing, and owns 2 rental units that pay him $2,400 a month. Everybody at that party envies the wrong man. The gap between those two was never income. Both of them earn about $85,000 a year. The difference is a list of purchases one man made and the other quietly walked past, year after year, until the math turned into freedom. I am going to hand you that exact list, counting down from 12 to 1, and the last one explains why most people never get past number 12. And the first thing they refuse to buy is number 12, a brand new car. A new car loses roughly 11% of its value the moment the tires touch public road. Drive it 3 years, and about 40% of what you paid is gone, converted into nothing you can sell. The quiet millionaire buys that same model when it is 3 years old, pays cash, and drives it for 9 years. Same commute, same seats, same air conditioning, and about $19,000 that never left his account. Nobody claps for a 9-year-old sedan. That is exactly why it works. A car payment is the most socially approved way to hand a stranger $600 every month for a decade, and the approval is the product you are actually paying for. Cancel that single purchase, and you have funded an entire retirement contribution without earning one extra dollar. Ask yourself who was in the room the day you decided you needed something newer. Probably nobody you owe anything to. The purchase was aimed at a crowd that will not attend your retirement and will not cover your bills. Quiet money moves the other direction. It buys the boring version of the thing and keeps the difference working for 30 years. Look at the resale listings for a 3-year-old version of whatever you are eyeing right now. The price gap usually sits somewhere between $12,000 and $20,000 for a machine with a full service history and 80% of its life remaining. Somebody else already absorbed the ugliest part of the depreciation curve for you, and they did it while you were still saving. Before we get to number 11, understand that hearing this list is not the same as using it. What comes next is the purchase that quietly eats most raises in this country, and if you have ever wondered where your money disappears to, that section answers it. Subscribe to the channel so you actually see the rest. Number 11 is the purchase almost everyone makes within 90 days of a raise. A raise arrives and something strange happens inside the first 3 months. The apartment gets bigger, the phone gets newer, the grocery cart fills with slightly nicer versions of the same food. Your income climbed 8% and your spending climbed 9%. On paper you got promoted. Inside your bank account nothing moved at all, and the raise you fought for evaporated before you ever felt it. Someone who understands this treats a raise like it never happened. Pay lands, the extra $420 moves into an investment account the same day, and life keeps running on last year's budget. 3 years and 2 raises later, the gap between what he earns and what he spends is $1,300 a month. That gap is the only thing that has ever built wealth for anybody. Set the rule before the money arrives, because after it lands the money has already been assigned inside your head. Half the raise goes to the investment account automatically on payday. Half is yours to enjoy with no guilt attached. Nobody sustains a plan built on pure restraint, yet almost anyone can sustain one where the good half arrives untouched. Living well and spending more are not the same activity. Good sleep costs nothing, a long walk costs nothing. Coffee made properly at home costs 40 cents and tastes better than the drive-thru. What drains people is not comfort at all. It is the constant upgrading of things that were already fine. There is a reason this one sits so high on the list, and discipline has nothing to do with it. Raises feel like they arrive from outside the system, so the brain files them as bonus money rather than as income. Bonus money gets spent on rewards. Income gets budgeted. Rename the raise inside your own head, and most of the problem quietly disappears. That brings us to number 10, and this one gets sold to you at every single checkout. Every register now offers protection. Protect the phone, protect the couch, protect the laptop, protect the 4-year-old television. A $180 plan on a $700 appliance sounds responsible, and the person selling it earns more commission on the plan than on the machine itself. Roughly 80% of those plans are never claimed by anyone. Wealthy households handle this differently, and the setup costs them nothing. They keep a repair fund, a few $1,000s sitting in a savings account, and they self-insure everything small. A screen cracks, the fund pays. Nothing breaks that year. The money stays theirs and earns interest. Across a decade, that one habit is worth thousands. Insurance exists for events that would ruin you. The house, the health, the income, the liability. A blender does not qualify. Every dollar spent protecting things you could simply replace is a dollar that never compounds, and the fear that sells those plans is manufactured at the counter 3 seconds before you pay. Run the arithmetic on your own history before the next checkout. Count every protection plan you have bought in the past 5 years. Then count how many you actually used. Most people arrive at 4 or 5 purchased and 0 claimed, which is another way of saying they paid several $100s for a feeling that lasted until they reached the parking lot. Number 9 is hiding inside your retirement account right now. Open your retirement statement and look for a line called the expense ratio. If it reads 1.1%, you are paying a manager $11 a year for every $1,000 you own, whether the fund wins or loses. A broad index fund charges about 40 cents on that same $1,000. The difference feels invisible because it is never billed to you directly. Run the numbers forward. A $300 monthly contribution over 30 years at 8% grows to roughly $440,000 in the cheap fund. The same money inside the 1.1% fund lands near $370,000. $70,000, handed to a service that on average did not beat the plain index it was competing against. The quiet rich are not smarter about markets. They refuse to buy an expensive middleman. One afternoon spent moving money into low-cost funds pays better than any raise you will negotiate this decade. And once it is done, it keeps paying without another minute of your attention. Fees are the only variable in investing that behaves with total certainty. Markets might return 9% or might return 3%, and nobody controls that part. The expense ratio gets deducted every year without exception, in good markets and terrible ones, which makes it the one number you can lower on purpose and keep lowered forever. Number 8 is the one your closet already knows about. A logo is a message sent to people who are not paying your rent. The $900 jacket and the $90 jacket keep you at exactly the same temperature. One of them also buys a small reaction from strangers, and that reaction lasts about 4 seconds and cannot be resold. There is a version of this that is not deprivation. Buy fewer things, buy them better, keep them longer. A good coat worn for 8 winters costs less per year than 3 trendy ones that fall apart, and it looks quieter while doing it. Money spent on quality is not the same as money spent on labels. Watch what genuinely wealthy people wear, and the pattern turns almost boring. Plain fabrics, no branding, shoes that get resold twice. They are not hiding money out of shame. They learned that anything designed to announce your income also invites people to price you, and being priced is expensive. The interesting part is what happens socially. Dress plainly for a year, and the people who were impressed by the jacket drift away, while the ones who remain were never counting in the first place. Losing an audience you were paying to keep turns out to be one of the cheapest upgrades available. Retail pricing is built around this exact instinct. The margin on a branded item is frequently 3 or 4 times the margin on an identical unbranded one from the same factory, and the buyer covers that gap willingly because the logo is the point. Nobody is really paying for stitching. The purchase is a signal rental, and the signal expires the moment the trend does. Quick pause here. If you have been around this channel for a while, you already know that staying quiet is only half of the work. The other half is where the saved money actually goes, and the next few refusals are the expensive ones. Hit subscribe and keep watching. Number 7 costs about $150 a month, and most people forget they are paying it. There are more storage facilities in this country than coffee chains, and they are packed with things nobody has touched in years. A 10x10 unit runs around $150 a month. Keep it for 6 years, and you have spent $10,800 guarding furniture you would not pay $2,000 to replace today. The unit is rarely about the objects. Deciding what to let go of feels like loss, so a monthly fee gets paid instead, and the postponement quietly turns into one of the largest recurring costs in the house. 6 years of avoidance, priced by the square foot. Someone with quiet money runs a different rule. If an item has not been used in a year and can be replaced for less than the storage cost, it goes. One uncomfortable weekend ends a payment that would have run for a decade, and the $150 gets pointed at something that grows instead of something sitting in the dark. The cleanest test takes about 4 minutes with a phone. Picture the unit, list what is actually inside it, then search what those items sell for used. Almost nobody can name more than a third of the contents, and the total value usually comes in under 1 year of rent. Storage is a bill for a decision you have not made yet. Number 6 is small enough that you have stopped noticing it entirely. Count the subscriptions attached to your card right now. Most households land near 12 of them and can name maybe 7. Streaming, cloud storage, fitness, software, a delivery membership, a trial that renewed 18 months ago. The average total sits close to $220 a month. That comes to $2,640 a year, charged in pieces small enough that no single one ever feels worth canceling. Invested instead at 8%, the same money becomes about $41,000 in 10 years. The cost was never the subscription itself, it was the automatic renewal nobody reads. An hour with your bank statement and a pen is one of the highest paying hours available to a normal person. Keep what you genuinely use, kill the rest, and set a reminder to check again in 6 months. This is not frugality theater. You are closing a leak in a boat you are trying to sail somewhere. Companies design these prices deliberately below the threshold where a human bothers to complain. $9 feels like nothing. $14 feels like nothing. Once a charge crosses roughly $30, people start paying attention, so the entire industry parks itself just underneath that line and collects quietly, 12 times a year, from everyone at once. Number 5 arrives dressed as a favor from someone who calls himself an advisor. A permanent life policy pitched as an investment usually carries a first-year commission worth most of your first-year premiums. The illustration shows a smooth climbing line. What it does not show clearly is the internal cost, the surrender period, or the fact that the cash value grows slower than a boring index fund. Term insurance does the actual job. A healthy 35-year-old can buy a $750,000 20-year term policy for roughly $35 a month. The same coverage bundled inside a permanent policy runs several hundred. Buy the cheap protection, invest the difference yourself, and the family stays covered either way. Read the surrender schedule before signing anything at all. Most permanent policies charge a penalty to exit during the first 10 years, which means the product was designed around you not leaving. A good financial product does not need a fence around it. The rule underneath this one is worth more than the example. Never buy a product where the person explaining it earns more when you choose the complicated version. Ask what the commission is. The answer, or the discomfort in the room after you ask it, tells you everything you need. Notice the pattern in how this product reaches you. The pitch almost never comes from someone you sought out. It comes from a friend of a friend who recently got licensed and needs early clients. The relationship is doing the selling, which is precisely why the numbers never get examined closely enough. Number 4 never looks like spending while it is happening. Grabbing the check for the whole table. The bachelor party in another city. The wedding gift sized to what people will think rather than what you can carry. The round of drinks bought because the silence after not offering feels worse than the $80. None of that is generosity, though it wears the costume well. Real generosity is chosen, planned, and needs no audience. Status spending is reactive, happens under social pressure, and repeats itself because backing out now would announce something about your finances you would rather hide. Someone quietly building wealth decides the number in advance. A fixed amount each month for gifts and shared meals, given warmly, and once it is spent, it is spent. Same friends, same warmth, $4,000 a year of difference, and nobody at the table ever notices. Track it for 2 months and the total will surprise you more than any other line on this list. Most people carrying this habit spend between $200 and $400 a month on moments they never planned and barely remember afterward. The money is not the painful part. Realizing who it was aimed at usually is. Number 3 is free, which is exactly why it costs so much. Somebody at work has a stock tip. A cousin knows a guy. A stranger on your phone has a screenshot of returns and a link underneath. Advice is the only product people hand out for nothing, and the ones handing it out loudest are almost never the ones who own anything. Look at the balance sheet behind the mouth. Does this person own assets? Has this person survived a crash? Would this person still be fine if the advice turned out wrong? 3 questions, and most opinions do not survive the first one. People worth listening to are usually the quietest in the room and have to be asked twice. Find 2 of them. A group that owns rental property, an investing club, a colleague who has been contributing to the same index fund for 15 years without drama. Your circle sets your ceiling. Free advice stays expensive for a structural reason. The person giving it carries none of the downside, which means the opinion never had to survive a real test before it reached you. Anybody with money sitting in the same position they are recommending speaks far more carefully, and that carefulness is the actual signal worth listening for. Number 2 is the purchase almost nobody realizes they are making every April. Overpaying tax is a purchase. You are buying nothing, voluntarily, because filling out one more form felt like effort. A worker earning $70,000, who contributes nothing to a retirement account and skips the health savings account, is handing over money the code was written to let him keep. Put $7,000 into a traditional retirement account in the 22% bracket and your tax bill drops by $548 immediately, while the $7,000 stays yours and keeps growing. A health savings account works even better, deductible going in and tax-free coming out for medical costs. That is not a loophole. That is the printed rule. The wealthy are not hiding money on secret islands, at least not the ones you will ever meet. They read the boring parts, contribution limits, deadlines, which account holds which asset. An afternoon with those rules saves more than a year of clipping coupons, and it repeats every single year. Timing matters more here than people assume. Retirement contributions for a tax year usually have to happen before the filing deadline, and a health savings account carries its own annual window. Miss the date, and the deduction disappears permanently. Because, unlike most financial mistakes, this one cannot be repaired the following year. You made it this far, so here is the honest part. Skip the final refusal, and everything above it stops working, because these 12 only compound when they are boring and repeated. Subscribe to the channel if this has been useful to you. Which leaves number 1. The purchase that undoes all 11 above it. The shortcut always looks a little different. A course promising 6 figures in 90 days. A coin your friend swears is early. A trading system, a flip, a guaranteed thing. What they share is a promise to compress 20 years into one, and that promise carries a price you always pay twice. Wealth built quietly is unbearably slow at the start. Year 1 looks like nothing. Year 3 looks like a rounding error. Somewhere around year 8 the account starts growing faster than your contributions, and by year 20 the growth is doing more work than your salary ever did. Nothing in that process is dramatic enough to post anywhere. Patience is not a personality trait here. It is a strategy with a measurable payout. Every shortcut bought is a restart, and every restart throws away the only ingredient that cannot be purchased: time already spent. The person doing the boring thing for 20 years beats the person doing the brilliant thing for 2. Watch how the shortcut is always sold in the same 3 parts: somebody's result, a compressed timeline, and a reason the ordinary route no longer applies to you. Every one of those parts is engineered to make patience feel like ignorance, and the fee gets collected long before anybody finds out whether the method worked. There is one more thing the shortcut steals, and it explains why the loud man at the barbecue keeps starting over. Each failed sprint teaches him that money is a game of luck, so the next attempt gets bigger and faster. The quiet one learned early that money is a game of subtraction, repeated until it stops being interesting. Look back across that list and notice what is missing from it. No extreme frugality. Nobody counted napkins or skipped medicine. 12 refusals, most of them taking one afternoon each, and together they redirect somewhere near $18,000 a year for an ordinary household earning an ordinary salary. What that money buys is not a bigger house. It buys the ability to hear bad news at work and feel curious instead of sick. It buys a repair bill that ruins an afternoon instead of a year. Freedom is quieter than people expect, and mostly it looks like nothing being wrong. Go back to that barbecue one last time. The loud man is still explaining his payment plan, and the quiet one is still saying almost nothing, because there is nothing he needs anyone in that yard to believe. Pick one refusal from this list and start it this week. Even the smallest one counts. If this was useful, hit the like button and subscribe, because the next thing worth knowing about money is never the part anyone announces.